Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. You are watching YouTube and Facebook channels of Professor Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi. Welcome to the lecture number 29 of Software Design Patterns course. Topic of coverage is template pattern. The template pattern says that just define the skeleton of a function in an operation, deferring some steps to its subclasses. So we have different type of templates like frameworks. Design patterns are the templates. We have Microsoft Word. It has different templates. PowerPoint, it has different templates. Benefit of the template, it is very common technique to reuse the code. Usage, it is used when the common behavior among subclasses should be moved to a single common class by avoiding the duplication. We have game, abstract class, we have chess game, we have soccer game, and we have the main. So game.java, public abstract class game, abstract void initialize, abstract void start, abstract void end, public final void play, initialize the game, start the game, end the game. So we define a method final void play and we call the abstract method inside initialize, start, end, and we close the abstract class. Now we have chess.java, public class chess extends game, override initialize, system.out.print chess game initialized, start playing. Override start system.out.print game started, welcome to the chess game. Override void end system.out.print game end. Soccer.java, public class soccer extends game, override initialize system.out.print soccer game initialize, start playing. Override start system.out.print game started, welcome to the soccer game. Override end system.out.print game finished, we close the method, we close the class. Template pattern demo, public class template pattern demo, public static void main string arguments, game is equal to new chess, game.play, game is equal to new soccer, game.play, we close the main, we close the class. That's the output of the template. Chess game initialized, start playing, game started, welcome to the chess game. Soccer game initialized, start playing, game started, welcome to the soccer game, game finished. Second example, game abstract class, cricket, football extends the game and we have the main. So game.java, abstract void initialize, abstract void start play, abstract void end play, public final void play, the template method calling the initialize, start play, end play, and we close the play method, we close the class. Cricket.java, public class cricket extends game, override end play system.out.print cricket game finished, override initialize system.out.print cricket game initialize, start playing, override void start play system.out.print cricket game started, enjoy the game, close the method, close the class. Football.java, public class football extends game, override end play system.out.print football game finished, override initialize football game initialize, start playing, override start play system.out.print football game started, enjoy the game, close the method, close the class. Public class template, public static void main string arguments, game object is equal to new cricket, game.play system.out.print game is equal to new football, game.play, close the main, close the class. That is the output. Cricket game initialize, start playing, cricket game started, enjoy the game, cricket game finished, football game initialize, start playing, football game started, enjoy the game, football game finished. Applicability of template pattern, to implement the invariant parts of an algorithm and leave it up to subclasses to implement the behavior that may vary, that can vary. When common behavior among subclasses should be factored and localized in a common class to avoid code duplication. To control subclasses extension, you can define a template method that calls hook operation at specific points, thereby permitting extensions only at those points. Vista is the next pattern. Vista design pattern is used when we have to perform an operation on a group of similar kind of objects. With the help of visitor pattern, we can move the operational logic from the objects to another class. Parts of visitor, we have visitor and we have visitable. The visitor used visit method and visitable used except method. So we have visitor which has concrete visitor 1, concrete visitor 2, visitable A, visitable B, and we have the object that calls the visitor and the visitable and has a relation. First example, consider a scenario: bike or vehicle which has engine, fuel tank are the parts, and we have two type of visitors, parts checker and parts operator. And then we have bike, engine and fuel tank implement the visitable and implement accept visitor. Parts checker and parts operator implement visit methods. This is the UML of visitor pattern. One, we have visitor, concrete visitor 1, concrete visitor 2. We have element, the visitable, concrete element A, concrete element B. We have object and we have the client. Visitor.java, interface visitor, abstract void visit fuel tank, the fuel tank, abstract void visit engine, abstract void visit bike, object, and we close the interface. Visitable.java, public interface visitable, abstract void accept visitor, we close the interface. Parts checker.java, public class parts checker implements visitor, override public void visit fuel tank, the fuel tank. System.out.print, checking whether there is a fuel in the fuel tank, override public void visit engine, object. System.out.print, checking whether ignition switch is on, override public void visit bike. System.out.print, going to the bike. We close the method, we close the class. Parts operator.java, public class parts operator implements visitor, override public void visit fuel tank object. System.out.print, releasing fuel from the fuel tank to engine, override public void visit engine. System.out.print, accepting fuel from the fuel tank and running engine, override public void visit bike object. System.out.print, now going to start bike, close the method, close the class. Fuel tank.java, public class fuel tank implements visitable, override public void accept visitor, the visitor object, visitor.visit this, close the method, close the class. Engine.java, public class engine implements visitable, override public void accept visitor object, visitor.visit this, close the method, close the class. Bike.java, import java.utility.arraylist, import java.utility.dist, public class bike implements visitable. So we declare array list which has a name bike parts, private list visitable, bike parts is equal to new array list visitable, override public void accept visitor object, visitor.visit this, for loop visitable part bike parts, part.accept visitor, close the loop, close the method, public void add bike part visitable part, bike parts dot add part, close the method, close the class. Visitor pattern demo.java, public class visitor pattern demo, public static void main string arguments, the bike object, new bike, visitable engine object, new engine, visitable fuel tank object, new fuel tank, bike.add bike part fuel tank, bike.add bike part engine, bike.accept new parts checker, bike.accept new parts operator, close the main, close the class. Our output is going to the bike, checking whether there is a fuel in the fuel tank, checking whether ignition switch is on, now going to start the bike, releasing fuel from the fuel tank to engine, accepting fuel from the fuel tank and running engine. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.